थर्ड लोकेशन पे आ गए हैं। बस करेंगे लंच और उससे पहले देखना ये मंदिर, सामने वाला मंदिर है। या एक्चुअली हम लोग क्या कल रात को भी यहाँ पे आए थे तो अभी बंद था। रात में हम लोग फ्लाइट स्कूटी लेके यहाँ गलती से आ गए थे, उस टाइम बंद था, लेकिन आप देखो अब अच्छा लग रहा है। कल तो मेरा बंद भाई। यहाँ पे क्या राइट साइड से एंट्री करते हैं, इनका रिचुअल है। थैंक यू।
That's everybody, right?
ये भाई इनकी वियतनाम की ओल्डेस्ट कैपिटल है। पहले कैपिटल थी इनकी, जो एंशिएंट कैपिटल बोलते हैं इसको, वियतनाम की जगह। तो लोग हम देखो भाई भैंस ले रखी बंदे ने। भाई चलते हैं अपने छाया में पेड़ों के नीचे। अभी मैंने गाइड से पता करा, एक्चुअली हम लोग क्या है ना, लो सीजन में आए हैं। अभी यहाँ का सबसे ह्यूमिड टाइम है। सबसे सही टाइम अगर आप लोगों को आना है ना तो नवंबर, दिसंबर, जनवरी में आना। अभी ठीक है, मतलब सस्ता तो है नहीं, सस्ता उस टाइम भी ये रेट होता है। बोल रहा है कि अभी प्राइस अप डाउन नहीं होते हैं यहाँ पे, जो प्राइस है वो ही रहेगा, प्राइस चेंज नहीं करते कभी है। और बाकी बस फ्लाइट के चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, थोड़े बहुत फ्लाइट महंगी मिल सकती है, लेकिन वेदर सही होगा। अभी वेदर बहुत ज़्यादा ह्यूमिड है, गर्मी बहुत लगेगी अभी जाओगे तो वो चीज़ है क्या। बाकी अभी लेकिन लोग कम है। अभी एडवांटेज ये है कि यहाँ पे जाओगे लोग कम मिलेंगे, पर वो ये किस चीज़ के एडवांटेज है, किस चीज़ के डिसएडवांटेज। बट आई प्रेफर कि नवंबर में आओ, वेदर तो गुड होना चाहिए उनके टाइम।
So pretty. Right now it's a little bit too hot, so I just want to try to make it fast, quick. Yep. So for the place where we're standing right here, this is actually the Hoa Lu Ancient Capital. As I already explained, in the 10th century, Vietnam used to be like the state of China. And at that point, nobody dared to claim himself as an emperor. But actually, by the age of 20, we do have the first one. His name was Ninh Binh, and by the age of 20, he finally united the 12 landlords of Vietnam and found the first Vietnamese independence country. He also named that country was Đại Cô Việt and took the capital located right here, Ninh Binh, as the first Vietnamese independence country capital. Yep. And as you can see, inside Ninh Binh, there's a lot of limestone mountain, right? It's really good for defend our countries from the invader, but it's not good for the economy. Yep. So, transfer things around back in the day because there's no road, there's no nothing but jungle. So the easiest way to transfer things around is by the waterway, the boat. Yep. And for the Dinh Emperor, by the age of 20, he became the new king of Vietnam, and he also claimed himself as an emperor and decided to change his name from Dinh Binh to Dinh Tiên Hoàng. Dinh Tiên Hoàng. Yes. And if you do pay attention, you see that Vietnamese name is like completely opposite compared to the English name. The English name, your name stand at the front, and then your middle name, and then your last name, right? Vietnamese name is like opposite. Our last name stand at the front, and then our middle name, and then our name. So whenever you translate the sentence Dinh Tiên Hoàng from Vietnamese to English, it returns into Dinh is his last name. Tiên is the first person. Hoàng is like the emperor. Combines these three letters, it returns into the first Dinh Emperor of Vietnam. Yes, a very cocky name, but still a very good king. Yes. And for the Vietnamese kings, some of the king they only last for like a couple years. Some of the king they can only last for a couple months. But for the Dinh Emperor, he lasts for 25 years in a row, considered as a very long duration. Yep. For the Dinh Emperor, by the age of 45, he accidentally passed away. And falling to the Vietnamese rumor, he was assassinated by some person in the Vietnamese history. Till nowadays, we still don't know who's that person yet. We already, guessed it out. But on the paper, we still don't know who's that person yet. So whenever a king or an emperor passed away, his son is supposed to be like the next king, right? But at that point, his son is only like 6 years old. Only so magically, physically unable to defend our countries from the invader. So at that point, the emperor's queen, her name was Dinh Binh, she decided to give the throne back to the strongest general at that time, which is the Lê Hoàn general. And when Lê Hoàn became the new king of Vietnam, that is the end for the Dinh dynasty, began for a brand new dynasty, which is the Lê dynasty. On the other side, there's another temple where they worship the Lê king. Yep, it looks exactly like this one, except that everything inside that temple is exactly 60 centimeters lower compared to this one. Yep, and when the Lê king became the new king of Vietnam, the Dinh Binh queen, she also decided to marry to the next king. So in the old Vietnamese concept, if a queen decided to marry to the next king, the old Vietnamese, they consider it as something unloyalty. Yeah, the old Vietnamese, they didn't like this queen, so till nowadays, there's not much thing was written about her till nowadays. Yep, okay, this way please.
भाई पूरी हिस्ट्री बता दी बंदे ने थोड़ी सी देर में या बट इट साउंड्स एक्साइटिंग ये भाई उसका आई थिंक पैलेस या टेंपल जो भी बोल सकते हैं नहीं रहते हैं वो किंग जो बता रहे हैं
Now it is considered national
So for this thing right here in Vietnamese, we actually call it the long sang, but in English it will turn into the dragon bat. Yep. For the dragon bat, sometimes it represents the king's tomb, sometimes it represents the king's bat. A place where the old Vietnamese, they used to put the offering before bringing it into the main temples. Yep. And as you can see on top of this stone plate, the Vietnamese artisan, they also carved like a dragon on top of this. Can you see the face of the dragon? Can you? The two eyes, the nose, the mouth right here. Is also have like two mustaches.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yep. So as I already said about the four spirits, the dragon represents the king's power. So it has to be masculine. It must have lots of muscles. But the weird thing about this dragon is that it do have two women's hands. Can you see the two hands? The reason why I said it looks like a woman's hand because it's quite slim. And it's also have like a pretty long nail. It looks like a woman's hand. On each hand of the dragon is holding a thing. On the left hand right here, the hand is holding some kind of a man beard. Can you see the beard? Yeah. And on the right hand, for this hand, for some Vietnamese, they said it looks like the horn of the dragon. But for some Vietnamese, they said this thing is look like some kind of a sword or some kind of a spear. So in the old Vietnamese concept, if a woman holds a man beard, which means that woman was overwhelming the man. And if she got some kind of spear or some kind of sword in her hand, which means that they're trying to say that that woman is extremely powerful. They're trying to say that this dragon is actually represent for a Vietnamese female, which is represent for Queen Dinh Binh. Queen Dinh Binh, back in the day, she was holding the emperor's beard, which means she was overwhelming the Dinh emperor. And she's also have extremely powerful. They're trying to say that the actual person who assassinated the Dinh emperor, it is actually the queen. Yeah, and there's a lot of rumor. They even said that before married to the Dinh emperor, the queen and the Lê Hoàn general, those two persons, they have some kind of a romantic relationship before married to the Dinh emperor. And you know, whenever there's a new king, they try to rewrite the history. So not all of the history that you read in the books nowadays is 100% accurate. Even in our history, and even in your books. So it's not. It's kind of similar, the same. The politics. Yeah. So, but the Vietnamese history writer, they try to express the real story throughout the stone plate, throughout the walls, throughout the way they note down the stories in multiple ways. If you try to put all the pieces together, you figure it out like the real story behind the myth. Yeah, behind the myth. Yeah. Okay, then this way, please.
Do not touch. Only touch.
Touch me not.
Not touch. Touch me not. Only touch me.
Jeg har set at भाई फुल हिस्टोरिकल टूर है हिस्ट्री बता रहा है बंदा लेकिन बहुत सही से एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है कुछ नया सीखने को मिला आज
Kalder du næsten beauty standard på dem begge?
Du er både beauty-standard for lav og choppy og for høj og skinny.
Lav og puttet med tykke hænder.
Det er faktisk overhovedet ikke det, jeg mente.
Det var det, du sagde.
Du sagde, at jeg var kraftig og tynd og lav.
Det var det, du hørte.
Det var det, jeg ville høre.
Jeg mener, du har mellemhøjden.
So whenever we enter like a sacred place in Vietnam, if you have the cap or your hat, please take it off to show some.
Take it
Yes.
off.
Thank you. This way, please. Okay, moment please.
Sorry.
Så tror det virkelig var tysker i hvert fald.
Nej, jeg snakker om den.
Okay, so for the place where we're standing right here, this is actually the Ding Emperor's temple. For this temple, it was originally built in the late 6th, 17th, early 18th century. So to nowadays, the age of it could be approximately more than 200 years. Yep. And is anybody here see this flower, the yellow one? It is actually the chrysanthemum in English, right? It looks similar to the daisies. Yep. In our culture, for the chrysanthemum, it's actually represent for the longevity. Yeah, if you give this flower for your grandparents, your grandmother, grandfather, which means you're trying to say yes, wish you have a longevity life. But never give this flower for your, for example, girlfriend or your boyfriend, for example. At that point, you're trying to say that, oh, you're getting old. Yes. And it's also have based on which type of flower is also have a different meaning. Yeah. And also for this temple, this is the place where we worship the Ding emperors. So you can literally see the dragon patterns everywhere inside of this temple. All the dragon patterns right here is being carved out of one piece of wood. Okay. Yeah. And for this temple, on the other side, there's another temple where they worship the Lei King. But everything inside that temple is exactly 60 centimeters lower compared to this one, which is, they don't have this stone plate right here. Yep. In the 18th century, the Nguyen King, these two temples, they used to be equal. In the 18th century, the Nguyen King, they see that this is the temple where we worship the Ding Emperor, which is the elder king. The younger king, he have to show some kind of respect to the elder king. So he decided to push this temple up exactly 60 centimeters. Yeah. 60. Yeah. And you know, back in the 18th century, there's no such thing called the tool or the machines. This temple was being pushed up by the bare human strength. Yep. And at the back side of this temple, there's another chamber where they worship the Ding Emperor's family. The Ding Emperor's family had 5 different members. The emperor himself, the queen, and they had 3 different sons. Because the queen, she decided to marry to the next king. So the old Vietnamese, they decided to remove her statue and put it into the next king temple. And also, back in the day, there's one rule saying something like you're not allowed to look straight into the emperor's eye. For example, if I look straight into your eyes, which means that we're equal. And if I look straight into your eyes, which means I can stop you, I can kill you. But if I'm not looking into your eyes, there's no way I can stop you at all. So in the movies, to nowadays, they try to describe if you want to give something for the king or the emperor, they have to do something like this. Face down and raise up the thing. Yep. For this rule, it's the same to nowadays. You can only look into the emperor's statue on the side, not at the front. As you can see, the front gate from the inside to the outside always has been sealed because the front gate is only used for the important person only. Yeah. Okay, so please have a look at the back side and feel free to ask me any more further question. I'll be right here. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is this?
It's actually like a sword incense. Yeah, it lasts a bit longer. everywhere. He had colonized everywhere in the world. He also invaded Europe.
He's the
Yeah.
strongest emperor that time.
Yes, but actually the Genghis Khan, he invades Vietnam 3 times in a row.
अब जाएंगे लंच के लिए, तो बैक टू द वैन। और काफ़ी नया कुछ सुनने को मिला कि यहाँ पे कैसे सीन होता था पहले, कैसे जो किंगडम है वो कैसे ट्रांसफर हुआ यहाँ का टू डिफरेंट एम्परर्स। देखते खाने में क्या है। गर्मी बहुत ज़्यादा है भाई। I'll still recommend you guys to come in November to January. चीज़ें बढ़िया लगती हैं लेकिन वेज आइटम भी है। थैंक यू भाई। लंच हो गया अपना बढ़िया वाला, अब जाएंगे बोट पे। ओके, थैंक यू।